Nikola Tesla's terrifying prediction has just been exposed in old documents. We idolize our tech heroes in this era of technological obsession, but it wasn't always that way. For instance, Serbian inventor Nikola Tesla held nearly 300 patents, but died penniless and alone. He was one of the first tech icons ever to grace the Earth. Nikola Tesla was an engineer and physicist who made numerous advances in the generation, transmission, and use of electric power. He invented the first alternating current motors and pioneered the development of AC generation and transmission technology. Despite his notoriety and respect, he never succeeded in turning his innumerable inventions into long-term financial success. Unlike Thomas Edison, his main rival and former employer, Tesla faded into history, and only die-hard enthusiasts know about and continue to celebrate him. Welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll talk about Nikola Tesla's lasting legacy and his predictions concerning the future of the tech space. Before heading on to the video, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you may never miss any of our updates. Tesla's predictions were posthumously revealed in a series of old documents and interviews. Tesla was born on July 10, 1856, in the Croatian town of Smiljan. He arrived during a lightning strike, so the midwife reportedly predicted that the child would be a child of darkness halfway through birth, to which his mother allegedly responded that he would rather be a child of light. She had no idea how prophetic those words would turn out to be. As an adult, Tesla was extremely hardworking. Co-workers reported that he got to his office at 3 a.m. every morning and never left till 11 p.m. While growing up, he was very imaginative and had quite a photographic memory. He had a knack for remembering every detail of his technological plans, and so never really committed them to paper. His mind was a living, breathing archive of innovations. One such idea was the future emergence of devices that could transfer music, video, documents, and telephone signals across the globe. This was the seed idea for the smartphones we have today, and Tesla already had the idea as far back as the first quarter of the last century. This idea also preceded the invention of the Internet to make such a device functional in the least. Tesla dubbed such a device vest pocket technology, but we think that the term smart devices sounds better. Tesla also believed that in the future, technology would emancipate women. In this time, women would become the dominant gender. Although this argument might be a tad naive, it is undeniable that women are rising to leadership positions worldwide. And with the help of technology, women's specific issues are now at the forefront of political activism and are rapidly gaining traction, all due to social media-related technology. Tesla showed off a wireless remote-controlled tele-automaton in 1898 at an electrical exhibition in Madison Square Garden, New York. Nowadays, most people would recognize this device as a remote-controlled toy boat. But back then, it was mind-blowing. It was also the precursor to remote controls of all shapes and sizes, which we have today, from drones to TVs and everything in between. Tesla had tried to sell the idea to the military to be used as a remote-controlled torpedo, but his idea was turned down. Tesla firmly believed that electricity for all could liberate the human race and help fix poverty. The result is that the prevalence of electricity has somewhat raised the standard of living of modern humans. So Tesla was right all along. His greatest ever contribution to power transmission that never was happened to be the erection of a tower to transmit electricity wirelessly. This ambition ended when his lab was accidentally burnt down, and with it, all his copious notes. Suffice it to say that his wireless energy ideas were wild, when put through the rigors of modern thinking. For instance, he believed wireless energy could be harnessed to fly planes. He argued that planes would not need to run on fuel, and if you think about it, that sounded far-fetched. Tesla also worked on a particle beam weapon that he believed would put an end to all wars. He called it the Death Ray, as if it were from a Star Wars movie set. It would be so strong that it could easily take out anything the enemy threw at you, even from a great distance away. War would then become pointless. If such a weapon existed in every nation, the idea of mutually assured destruction would become the cornerstone for a peaceful coexistence. However, Tesla's plans and drawings for such a weapon disappeared mysteriously. Tesla also had an idea for what we know today as an MRI. For him, it would be able to photograph images of what our minds were thinking. Tesla also envisioned flying cars. Heck, Elon Musk even named his EV cars after him. But back then, Tesla reached out to Mr. Ford as the man who was better positioned to contribute to his dream. In truth, Ford would have been way over his head with this idea. Tesla relocated to Paris in 1882 to work for Thomas Edison's electric company's French division. He began by installing indoor lighting. Soon enough, the managers became aware of his abilities and hired him to do more challenging work, such as designing and constructing dynamos and motors. He was soon traveling across Europe troubleshooting issues at other Edison branches. Tesla's manager extended an employment offer to him at the Edison Machine Works HQ in New York City. He accepted the offer and moved to America in 1884. At first, there was a mutual respect between Edison and Tesla, until they fell out over what the best electricity transmission technology should be. It was the infamous AC versus DC debate. That is, alternating current, which Tesla preferred, to direct current transmission, which Edison was selling at the time. Tesla had to quit to start his own electric company in the following year, 1885. Not long after, investors came calling, namely George Westinghouse. Westinghouse liked the idea of AC transmission and thought it was the edge he needed against Edison. Alternating current was the final piece of the puzzle in the Westinghouse power infrastructure. It might interest you to know that Edison was the founder of the famous General Electric. Also note that direct current was more suitable for domestic use than high-voltage transmission. Westinghouse also secured a contract to build the first-ever hydropower plant in the Niagara Falls area with Tesla in a consulting role. This project ensured that an area as sizable as Buffalo, New York, would be constantly illuminated. But Westinghouse had a huge debt of $10 million on their books. At the time, Tesla was the star of the company and earned very high wages for his contributions. So the first casualty of the lack of funds was Tesla's royalties. The executives asked him nicely if they could slash his wages. Tesla recalled how when everyone rejected his AC transmission ideas, Westinghouse had been the one to champion it and bring it to reality. Tesla graciously accepted a huge pay cut as a sign of goodwill. Tesla used his severance package for a few personal scientific projects. He was hoping to transmit radio signals wirelessly, but then tragedy hit when his lab caught fire. This was also when Tesla started to lose his mojo. All the notes and calculations that might have crowned a life of success had been lost in the fire. And then Marconi, who was working on something similar, muscled Tesla out of the idea for radio transmission. Marconi was the bloke who successfully transmitted a radio signal across the American and European continents. At first, the U.S. authorities were reluctant to grant Marconi the patents because Tesla was already working on such an idea. But the fire struck, and so the rest is history. Some of Tesla's ideas were impossible to construct, like the thought cameras and the death ray. There was even an earthquake machine that was meant to help with mining and would create artificial earthquakes in the process of extracting precious metals. Tesla's decline worsened when he couldn't secure any loans from investors who thought his ideas were expensive and far-fetched. In the last 10 years of his life, he became bankrupt. He spent that entire time residing in the New Yorker Hotel. This lodging arrangement was, of course, paid for by his last employers, the Westinghouse folks. They were obliged to do so because they didn't want any bad publicity that might have suggested the great Tesla was homeless. He lived out his final years on a vegan diet of crackers and milk. Tesla always suspected that Edison had something to do with his failures. On the other hand, Tesla remained fond of his mother up until her passing. She had been the one to see and nurture the light in him. Tesla passed away alone in the hotel room on January 7, 1943, at the age of 86. A maid had walked in and found him lifeless. Finally, he had departed into the light from where he first came, and he is celebrated now even when history might have eroded his story. If you have reached this far, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell so you may not miss any future updates. See you in another video. Until then, take care. Do tell us your views in the comment section below.